Hi, it's Diane again. Today I'm going to show you how to do your masks assembly line style. The first thing you need to do is prepare your fabrics by putting them right sides together. Now you can do assembly line style. I would do from at least 5 and up to 10 at a time. Today for demonstration I'm just doing 3, but remember you can do more than 3 at a time. So I have all of my masks right sides together, ready to sew. So I'm just going to put them, we're going to sew the side seams first. Oh, shoot, lost my foot pedal. And you're going to back stitch at the first and at the end of your seam. After you backstitch, leave your fabric under your presser foot and just start with the next piece of fabric. You're not going to cut your threads, you're just going to leave them the way they are. And you're going to sew your next piece. Leaving your threads again. Without cutting them, you're going to sew your next piece. So you have like a hanging group of fabric pieces. Then you're just going to keep them. You can cut those off now. And now you're going to do the other side, leaving them connected. Now you're just going to sew the other side now with your fabric still connected. Once you're done with that, then you can cut your threads. Just cut the threads that are joining those together. Now you're going to turn all of them right side out. Remember to thumb press the seams to one side to make it so that you're ironing those seams open. Pushing with your thumb. Now you're going to do this with all of them, and then you're going to press them. Press all of them so that they're flat, and also you're going to press the 1/2 inch casing. So I'm going to do that and I'll come back after I have that finished. Okay, so I have pressed my pieces and I've pressed up the seam allowance, the 1/2 inch seam allowance. I'm just finishing up the last pressing of the seam allowance or for the casing. Now I'm ready to go back to my sewing machine and put it on a zigzag stitch, 2.5 width, 2 length. I'm going to zigzag those casings. Now again, I'm going to back stitch at the beginning and the end of each of these seams, but when I come to the end, I'm going to leave my fabric under the presser foot. And then I'm going to just start with my next group. Now remember, I'm doing 3 just for demonstration, but I would suggest that you do at least 5 and possibly 10 at a time. So you're doing all of the same steps on your mask at the same time. And you're just gonna, you can actually just bring this over and just sew the other side. Clip your threads. Now you're ready to thread your elastic through on all of the pieces. Remember to use a smaller pin. The big one will not fit through these casings. Okay, I'll be back once I get the elastic in. While I'm doing this, I'm also going to mark my elastic. So I'll just show you the one, and then I'm just going to do all of those, and then I'll come back. So remember, after you get the elastic in the casing, you're going to mark your 1/2 inch. Pull your fabric so your elastic's out a little further so you can see your marking. And then you're going to join it from at the marking and pin it. Okay, I'll be back once I've done all of those, that far on all of these. Right, so I have all of the masks. The elastic are pinned in the circle. So now I'm ready to sew the elastic. Remember, you're going to do that with a zigzag stitch. Put your presser foot down and then carefully take out that pin and zigzag. Now this, you have to just pull that out a little bit. You can still leave the threads attached. Now I've sewn all of the elastic. I've clipped my threads. I'm ready to pull the elastic through the casing. Now remember, you're just going to pull it just barely past the inside so you can feel the thickness of the elastic right there where the 2 pieces of elastic are joined together. Pin that, and on the same side, you're going to do the same thing. Just till that elastic, the thickness of the elastic is where you can feel it right there. Okay, you're going to do that to all of those. Then you're going to sew that top stitch. So because we're just about done, so I'm just going to do the next step, even though I don't have all of them done yet. Remember, tops or edge stitch this close to the edge, back stitching over the elastic, back over it again, and then sew the rest of your seam. You want that elastic sewn over because that keeps the elastic in the casing. As you approach this, you take out your pin. And I've run out of bobbin. Okay, so I'll finish that and then we'll go to the next step. So we've sewn the one seam or the one edge stitch on the one side on all of them. The next thing we're going to do is pull the elastic so that it is 3 inches. This gathered part is measuring 3 inches. So I have 3 inches. My red stop is on 3 inches. So I'm going to measure. I'm more than 3 inches, so I'm going to pull it a little bit more. So that is 3 inches. Put a pin there and do that on the other side. Pull that so it's 3 inches. And place your pin. Now I already did the other one, so all of them are pulled to the 3 inches so that I can just sew all of them at one time. Remember, on this step you want to always put your elastic behind your presser foot. It's much easier that way. So take your loop of elastic and place it under the presser foot and to the back. And that will make your life a lot easier sewing this. Edge stitching, remember to sew over the elastic, go back, and over the elastic again. Take your pin out as you approach, but put pressure on it so that that elastic doesn't slip out of there. Back and forth over your elastic and go to the next one. Oh, what did I do there? Pull your elastic under your presser foot and to the back. Take your pin out, but hold on to that so it doesn't move. Over the elastic, back, and over the elastic again. Pull your pin out just as you get to there. Back stitch back and forth over your elastic. Now you just clip your threads. And we have finished 3 masks. Give them a little stretch. The reason that we sewed the elastic down is so that it stays tighter by the ears. And there you have it, assembly line sewing. Thanks for joining us. Bye.